Here we are at Black Dog with Eric Durant. We are going to fire up and do one complete program, and here we go.
Okay, so I always hit E-stop. You don't have to, but I do. Twist it to reset it, power on, give it a second, and then you'll have to power on again.
I may upload this to YouTube for all you viewers out there.
Power on.
We're going to put it in the antiques.
In the antique section, that's right.
Yeah.
So then you flip over to zero return, and you can just go minus in Z a little bit, minus in X a little bit, minus in Y a little bit, and then you can go starting with Z plus. 1, 2, 3. Wait until the lights come on. X, Y, and Z.
Bing, bang, bong.
We're good to go.
We're good to go.
What you want to do now is go into program or into edit. We want to be in program up here. And the last program, this program should come up every time, which is 1000. It's automatically going to bring that program up every time.
It's automatically going to bring the last program we had in it.
It's not even the last program. Most
it's always going to bring up 1000.
Yeah, it'll bring up 1000 every time.
Okay.
So now all we need to do is we type in 0101, cursor down. So there's your program for the -5 angle bars, or whatever they're called. And then all you would have to do is, once you're ready to go, put it in memory and cycle start. Once your tools are all set, everything's been set and ready to go, that's all you'd have to do to turn it on and get ready to go in the morning.
Okay, now how do you run through a dry run?
Run through a dry run. So, first of all, make sure the key is off. Right now, with no tool in the spindle, I can go in dry run, or in just a run. You can turn your rapid speed down to 25, or even the lowest right there. If you cycle start it, so it's going to take off, and then you can take your speed up as fast as you want or as slow as you want. You don't want it to hit the machine, so you take it down slow and have your hand on feed hold. And as long as it's clear, which it's still clear, we'll wait until it stops and starts feeding sideways, or whatever it's going to do. There we go. So once it feeds sideways, if you're careful and you know what you're doing, you can turn on dry run, and you can adjust your speed accordingly right here. So if you're comfortable, you can leave it up high and just watch it. Keep your hand on feed hold, ready to stop. But you can see exactly where it's going to run and what it's going to do. So it just did the one side, now it's going to wrap it over and start doing the other side. So this should be a 5/8 end mill that's in there, even though we don't have a tool in there. I think that's what it said we used. So then that's done. We'll take dry run off, turn the speed back up on our feed or on our rapid traverse, and we'll let it tool change, and it's still going to bring up an empty pocket, an empty tool. So this one, I'm going to slow it down a little.
Now it's just going to drill the hole, huh?
Yeah, and this time it's drilled the hole. You can see we have a 406 drill. I'm just going to turn dry run on. So I just drilled the first and second hole. Now it's going to take off and go home. Tool change again.
Okay. Now it's changing to that chamfer bit.
Which I believe that's what it is. Let's see. Yeah, it's a 3/8 chamfer mill. So we'll go a little faster.
So it's going to go down, and this is going to be really fast.
This actually goes all the way around.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. So.
Oh.
So what did that?
No?
No. Not
All
on
that did
one.
was do the number.
Yep, that one just did a number on that one.
Yeah,
now
that's all
on
it
the
does.
other ones,
No.
the other program I ran chamfered all the way around.
Oh, really?
And it chamfered the holes also.
I don't think we do that.
Well, it says you're supposed to do that on your drawings. They want a 60 by 45 chamfer all the way around it.
Okay.
So.
I think what we did was we sanded that in.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't like that because it thinks tool 1 is in the spindle. Spindle tool is 1, that's why it's giving the alarm. Okay. Anyway, we're good to go.
Okay, now that tool's done.
Yep.
All right, so now I'm going to pull this down, and I'm going to hand you this tool. You don't have to actually do it, but show us how we would go in and do we need a rag for you?
Yeah, I'll need a rag.
Here we go. Right here. Here we go. And we can do this by hand, can't we?
Yes.
This function. So what we're going to do now is we're going to simply align the back of the mill and find a corner, right?
Yeah.
Don't we need to do that?
Well, I will show you here. So we undo that, baby. Stick that in. Let's tighten that up a little bit. As long, yeah, so you'll want to dial in the back of the jaw, or the back of the vise should be parallel to it as long as there's no nicks or dings on the vise.
Okay.
You'll want to make sure that's good and straight. Once you get that done, yeah.
You can do all this by hand though, can't you? By just
Yes.
lowering your Z-axis,
Yeah.
and then putting your moving your Y or your X. Is it
Yep.
your X?
X is
Moving
this
your
way.
X left
Yep.
and right, and then watching the dial on the caliper and making sure that it's perfectly straight.
Yeah. One thing you'll want to do is, just in case, you may want to dial across the actual area you're gripping, especially in soft jaws. Because who knows if the soft jaws were cut when the vise was dialed in, or if it was skewed a little bit and somebody was lazy and just cut the jaws.
Okay.
So you may want to dial in across where your part's going to locate, where
Okay.
you're going to clamp on. If you have hard jaws, you know, a set of hard jaws, then you're fine to dial across the back. But where they're soft jaws and you've just milled down that, you don't know if that was good and straight to begin with, or whether it was off a little bit when they dialed or cut the soft jaws in.
Okay, now, how do we find the 0 point and put it into the controller?
Okay, so you have a vice handle
Yes.
somewhere?
Right, open that up. No. Right here. No, lift that up. Open that, pull that out. The other one, unless I got it there. That one, isn't there? Right there.
Okay, so we need to... So, you would set this equal on each side somehow, whether you want to use just a welded up stop or something quick and easy. So what I would do is, first of all, I need an edge finder.
That is right there.
Tool right there, yep. That little thing. So here's how you would find the center of this tool. So make sure that's tipped off or pushed over to one side. You'll want to turn that on to 1,000 RPM is what's pretty common. So if
1,000 RPM.
If
Okay,
we
now.
go to MDI.
Okay, hold on. I gotta focus.
Okay.
You know, in Hollywood, I'd have a focus puller.
That's right.
Okay, you're gonna go to MDI.
So MDI, and we're just going to type in S1000 M3, and we'll just go right and cycle start.
Yeah.
Better, thank you. So now we got 1,000 RPM. So now I'm just going to move over into handle and into position page. So I'm going to zero out the control before I go ahead. While I'm still sitting at X0, Y0, Z0, I'm just going to type in X, Y, Z, and then I'm going to hit origin. So that zeroed out my control right here, and you want to be on position universal when you zero that out. So now that you have that zero, go into your numbers here. Let's go. First of all, I'm going to find the center of this block in Y.
He's finding the center of the block in Y.
So you get down close, and then you can turn the switch here down.